no talking, show him your respect and show him your pride, okay? All right, Mr. Price, take it away. Thank you so much.
Sure. Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Good.
Excellent. Thanks for having me. I appreciate y'all taking time to just listen. There was a time when I was young like you guys. I was in 7th and 8th grade, and always had certain dreams and ideas and stuff like that. And I'm an artist as well, and I'm also a technologist. So I work for the state government, and I'm an IT manager. So I ended up getting a degree in technology. I went to art school for a little bit, and I dropped out. I would not recommend that, because you gotta pay school back if you go, all right, unless you get a scholarship or something. So, but I was able to then go back to school for technology. I stopped doing art for probably like 14 years. And in 2019, I got back into doing art, drawing, and stuff like that. And I decided, well, I'm going to try to create a company. So my company is called Illustriously Lit. And Illustriously Lit is a art and design company. So basically what I try to do is create designs, right? You can see here, this is a picture of me. This is a picture I did on Clip Studio Paint of my son, London. He actually goes to school here. We actually just moved this year in June from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So that's where we're originally from. And in this, he's actually wearing a jacket that my brother, who also has a brand called Cash Cows, created, okay? And all his themes are based around the cow, all right? So, what is a brand, right? You guys know what a brand is. Can someone tell me what is a brand, since you guys are doing branding? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Did you raise your hand?
So, a brand is like a logo for your design and
No, that's good.
yeah.
Okay, no, that's good. Then we'll start with that. So a brand, yes, a brand has a logo, right? And based off of some particular design. But more importantly, a brand is an identity, right? A brand is something that gives a person a perception. So what do you guys think about when you hear Mercedes? Car. Right, what type of car do you think about?
Luxury.
Right. All right, so a brand, right? So a brand is something that signifies a thing, a person, right? Now, when you guys are going through your life, believe it or not, we all have what's called a personal brand, right? And your personal brand is who you are every day, how you express yourself, right? The things that you do, talents that you have, skills that you have, right? So you can take those things and create a brand, right? And I would encourage you all to think about your own personal brand every day. What type of person you are, what type of person you want to be, right? Do you live with integrity, right? Are you forthcoming, right? Those sorts of things. Do you help other people, right? All these things can be a brand. Now, you could take those qualities and you could put that into something that could be a service or a product, right? So my mission statement for my brand is Illustriously Lit aims to curate and create visually stunning artwork and clothing designs that celebrate the essence of past pop culture while infusing it with a contemporary twist. We strive to provide a vibrant and trend-setting experience for our customers, resonating with their love for nostalgia and appreciation for modern aesthetics, right? And the vision, my vision, and that's called my mission statement. A mission statement is something that every brand has, and it basically describes what this brand is aiming to do, right? And then I also have a vision statement, right? The vision is to become a leading brand in the pop and alt cultural space, recognized for innovative designs, vibrant aesthetic, and commitment to celebrating the iconic trends of the past while embracing the present, right? So that is my brand. You can see here, these are just some of my designs. Everybody know who Mario is? Everybody know Mario, right? Mario's been out since I was a kid, right? That is a design I did, and that's just basically me representing myself as Mario, all right? This is also my son here, but I've done him as like a Simpsons character. You guys ever heard of Simpsons?
Yeah.
All right. And then you guys know One Piece. Anybody know One Piece? Luffy, all right? So that's my son as Luffy. This is me as the pirate brand, right? The flag. All right. So this is how you can take certain ideas, right, from pop culture, and you can twist them and make them your own and incorporate those into your brand. So this is almost like remixing, right? And if you guys, I think Miss Patterson here is teaching you guys about branding and pop art and stuff like that. One of my biggest influences is Andy Warhol, right? He did a lot of taking things out of pop culture and designing them in an attractive and innovative way. All right? So, next. All right, guys, so what you'll see here, right, is when I was starting out, I was like, what's my brand going to be? What is it going to be? So, part of how I come up with my name and all of that is I took the word illustrator, I took the word Lee, my name, and I took the word lit, because all the art that I do, I want it to be like the words of like the youth would say, I want it to be lit. I want it to have some oomph. I want it to be raw. I want it to have energy, right? So I come up with illustriously lit. Illustrator Lee is lit, right? So that's just showing you how you can come up with an idea completely original, right? Just by, play of words, right? And what you're seeing here is I actually drew. These are pen drawings of the logo that I originally drew, hand drew, and then of the other parts of the logo, the lit and the ill, right? I was able to take these and digitize these using various tools. I scanned them in the computer. You guys use any AI, ChatGPT, Midjourney, Night Cafe, anything like that? You ever heard of that stuff? Okay, so programs like that. And so you guys come up in a very cool time too, right? Like now is the time when you guys literally can make your way, right, in the world being creative, right? You guys probably have favorite content creators on YouTube, right? People can make a living playing video games now. If someone had told me I could make a living playing video games when I was a kid, I'd have been in heaven, right? So with the advent of technology, you guys can take things, whether it's drawings, or even if you draw on the tablet or laptop itself, right? And you can digitize and make your logos, right? So I use a program called OpenArt AI. And OpenArt AI is really cool. It has a bunch of different tools, but one of the tools that I really like to use is called the image blender. So I took my image, and then I took another image, right, that gives you style, color, and then I gave it a prompt that, I want my logo to look maybe slimy, I want it to be shiny, I want it to have smooth edges, stuff like that, right? And when you do that, and this is just another slide of some of the different programs that you can use in your branding, and I'll talk about some of those here individually in a little bit. But this tool allowed me to then take my hand drawing, which I think I have it here. I'll just pass that around. Actually, I'll pass all these around so you guys, you just take a look and just pass it around just so you guys can see those. So you are able to then something that comes up like this. And when I seen that, I was like, oh man, this is excellent. That's exactly what I was looking for, right? So now I have the basis of my brand. I have my logo. I have additional logos. See, that's what came out, right? So let me explain to you what these are, right? So part of my process, right, after I have designed the graphic, right, you can then take your graphic and you can use a company like Custom Patch Factory. That's one that I use. And what they will do is they will take your image and they'll create these, right? These. So these, right, these are called heat patches, right? So heat patches allow you to take your logo and affix them to fabric, right? And I do that using a heat press. I have a picture on one of those on the next slide. I'll show you those. On this here, this is just more examples of how I was able to then take my logo. Now that I have my logo, I can use these tools. I can take any color palette and change the logo to any different color I want. So if I have different design ideas, different color schemes, I can take my designs, quickly put in an image that's, I'm like, hey, I want these colors to be part of my logo, and the AI will help me do that. The thing about it is it helps you do that very quickly without having to redraw, repaint, redo everything over and over and over again, right? You can also see here, I don't know, you guys are probably too young to know about the show Friends. But there was a show back in the day called Friends about some adults that kind of just lived together. And what I did was I took a picture of SpongeBob and his friends, did a similar type of a logo for that. All right. You can see I also use SpongeBob. I have SpongeBob in quite a few of my designs. My kids grew up watching that stuff, so.
I have a question about
Yes.
that. How can you use that then? Because is it because you slightly changed it?
Yes, that's exactly what I've done. I've slightly changed it. Now, not to say say I make it big and my designs start going, may I have to maybe get some licensing, possibly? Maybe, you know what I mean? Especially if I want to mass produce those, right? But a lot of these actually started from art pieces. So that's kind of what I do. Like I'll take a lot of the things I do in art pieces, whether digital or hand painted, and I will incorporate those also into the clothing designs. Yes. But that's a good question. So yes, so I think about that dressing from time to time. Here you can see, this is Custom Patch Factory. So I give them my logo, they create me these cool little patches that I can then affix to my clothes. And this is what I have one of these at home. It's called a heat press. You just open it up, it plugs in. It's like a big iron. It heats up to 350 degrees, whatever you want. And when you put your logo on the clothing, you press that down, hold it, maybe like 30 to 60 seconds, and then it's pressed, right? So what you're seeing, like those little things, so that's exactly how I got this on my pants, right? You get the logo here. That's exactly how that works. These are kind of silk screen, right? So I have a company, it is, now what they do, instead of you having to like make a bunch of clothes and have a bunch of clothes at your house that you have to try and sell, they do print on demand. So you can have a platform, I use ProDigi, it's part of Shopify, and I can upload my designs. You upload your designs to ProDigi, and then it will actually take your design and put those across multiple products like notebooks and coffee cups and rugs and pillows and jackets and all kind of different products, right? So that's how you're able to then get designs like this. This is a design. This is actually Patrick Star from SpongeBob, and I do like a lot of graffiti stuff. So that's kind of where the basis of a lot of my designs come from, graffiti. Even though I never painted on the wall or nothing, but I've been inspired by that. So this is called Patrick for the People. He has a glove on his fist and he's raising it in protest, right? That's just kind of a pun on pop culture, right? We've seen that before. We also have designs, say like this jacket. Now, there's another print demand place that I use. It's called Yokel. And the only thing is with that is they mass produce everything, it's overseas, right? So it takes, if you purchase something, it takes them X amount of time to actually make it. Because they make it on demand, and then they print it out, and then they ship it to you. It takes like 14 days. But you can see this is one of my, I call the ice cream designs. So the sleeves have ice cream on it. They're pop art style ice cream dollops or scoops. And then you have the lit insignia. You have ice cream on the collar. You have ill on the back. Everything's bright, vibrant, right? Same thing with this. You have this one here. This is actually a piece I did. I put it on the shirt. 2 abstract figures. They look like they got ski mask on. So we don't know what these individuals are up to. Probably some trouble, right? But another design. So that just shows you guys how you can take your designs, you do different things. Now, Yoko, what I was telling you guys also, that's where I do this shoe design. So the cool thing about them is they have a bunch of different shoe kind of like templates, if you will. And this obviously is a template. This is based off of, you guys know the Air Force One, the Dunk, right? Nike. It's basically based off of that. But you can see I've taken the same ice cream designs here, pop art ice cream designs, and you can see we have that here. And that's the cool thing about this, it gives you full time to design the entire shoe. Like this section here, this section, this, the top. The only thing you really can't do is the tongue. I wish you could, because I would have some crazy different tongue designs. But it allows you to do that. I'm sorry? I don't know, it's just the way that they're programmed instead of, they don't allow you to do it now. If I wanted to, right, I could go home, get the airbrush, and like do some custom stuff on the tongue, right? But it would be excellent if they would just allow you to put your design and then them, the process they call it sublimation. So they actually fuse this into the fabric. So you get a lot of durability out of these. That's the cool thing about it, because a lot of times, like if I were to do custom shoes and I would actually hand paint them, you go out and play and get scuffs, paint's coming off, right? Even if I put some protective, covering on it. But with this process, it allows this to really be part of the actual leather, and it never comes off. Like I've been wearing these for months, and they're still actually in decent shape. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, where did you get these?
So that is from Yoku. Yes.
Do you have to do bulk?
You don't, actually. You can, and I think if you did bulk, you would probably get a lesser price on the production of it, but it's not a requirement. So like that's what I will do. I'll basically, I will create one, then I'll order one as a prototype so I can see exactly what the finished product looks like. And then the cool thing is that they're actually on my site. I'll show you guys the site later. And then if somebody wanted to order them, they would make the order on the website. It would take 14 days before you get the shoes, but you would get a finished product. And that way I don't have to have a bunch of shoes. I thought about that too. I thought about maybe taking $5,000, get a bunch of different shoes, different sizes, and then, do like a vendor pop-up, something like that. So.
How much, could you tell us how much one pair of shoes costs to do that?
So, like a pair of shoes is not, like a pair of shoes might be for them to make it, like the shoe itself, and then to make it's like $21, right? So the markup can be considerable, you know what I mean? Because if you think about shoes right now today, most shoes are like what, guys? You probably know better than me. How much a pair of Jordans right now? See, y'all know better than me. So there you go. So you could have a decent profit margin, say if you even sold your shoes for $100.
So here's the cost then. We'll do mail extend $1 and they'll do their own design. They can design their own shoes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you can do that. Have them, they all just get shipped here. Now the only thing that is a kind of a bummer, and I'll tell you this, is the shipping cost, right? So that's the thing. I typically, like if I wanted to buy probably 2 of these shoes right now, the price is not expensive on the shoes, but the shipping is going to be almost just as much. So like, say two pairs of shoes is like 40 something bucks, but then your shipping is going to be like 60 bucks or something like that. So that's where the bulk problem comes in, right? It's not bad. Like say if someone's just ordering themselves and they're just buying 1 pair of shoes for themselves, that shipping's not going to be pretty much anything. It might be like 15 bucks or something like that, right? But that's kind of where you have to figure out your profit margin. Yeah. So, and I could show you that site. I could kind of show you, pull up some design and show you the shipping cost and all that. Yeah. But that's the only thing. Yes.
Do you have a hat too?
So I got a few beanies that I made. I do want to start getting to make like fitted hats and snapbacks. I don't have a hat heat press yet. That's what I need to buy. And that way you can actually put your hat right over top of the press, and then it will press right over that concave surface, right?
Why can't you just use that hat on the heat press regularly?
Cause it's flat. That's the only reason why, because it's flat. And you know, when you have your hats, they have the bill, they have the curve, right? So the hat press, it allows you to take the hat, you can fold it inside, sit it right on top, and then it actually goes right over top of the bill and everything. So that's the main reason why. Now these beanies, I did these on the flat heat press, because you just put it down, put it on there, you know, and that was no problem at all. So you are able to do like beanies and stuff like that with the flat regular. You can if you're not careful. You just want to make sure, and I mean, you could wear gloves and stuff like that, but you just gotta be careful because most of the heat's gonna be on the inside, right? So if you're putting something underneath there, you just gotta kind of watch the top, make sure you don't. So this is like this is a heat patch press patch, right? So this is the same patch that you see on this hat, same one. So I would take this out, put this over top, throw the heat press down on it. I usually do 60 seconds, about that. Maybe about with this material and this, probably about 275 on the heat press, and I might do it maybe 2-3 times, just to make sure it's good. I burnt myself a few times, not nothing crazy though. You know, just like tapped in, it's like, oh. So, yes and no, right? So what happens when you, so like these ones here, for instance, right? So these, right? So cool thing about these are like, I would have to cut this out, right? Cut the square out, put that down there, right? But when you put this on and hit it with the heat press, and you do it a few times, what happens is this design, which is actually on this back side, it starts to fuse into the fabric, and then you're able to slightly just peel this plastic back, and then it literally just comes right off, and then your design is left. So you don't have to, I know what you're saying, you don't have to get like an X-Acto knife and go and etch out every little thing. It literally just peels right off, because on the back, you can see the design's actually here, and you can feel the texture of it. That's what makes it stick to the fabric. All right? So here is just a few little shots of the website. I will pull it up for you guys so you can see it. I do have it up here. And then this is part of my website too, that just kind of shows the shoes, right? It's like a little ad, right? So that's the other thing, guys. Like, you don't even have to now, you don't have to be a web developer. You don't have to know how to write code, right? You can get, you can go to like Squarespace. You want to do a website, they got free templates there, or you can buy some fancy stuff. And then basically you can format your whole website just like dragging and dropping, making shapes and squares, adding photos, stuff like that. It's very simple. You would be surprised at what you can do today with very little effort and a big idea. So that's the whole thing I want you guys to take from this, is that you guys might have ideas, you might have things you want to do, you might have thoughts. You could take those and turn them into something that could possibly make you money in the long term, right? Now, correct. Correct. So, and the most important thing is they'll have fun with it. Like, I just like to do this stuff. Like, when I was a kid in high school, I used to draw figures, and I used to draw them with certain clothes, and I had names for the clothes and stuff like that. And I was like, man, it would be cool one day to have a clothing line. And now, it's something that could be awesome, right?
Yes. Going back to the websites, I have Squarespace, but then you have to pay for those. Is there any free ones?
Yeah, so the one that I use actually, and this is just some finishing slides with some designs. You guys will be able to see the stuff on the website too. But I think the template I use is free. Yeah, the template I use on Squarespace is pretty much free. Oh, I gotta bring this over, don't I?
The link
Yes.
So those links are on your website.
Yes, I'm gonna pull that up for you guys so you can see that real quick. Yep, so here is my website. This is what I use with Squarespace. So this is my website. I created this with Squarespace, right? And then I believe this, I used the free one. I didn't pay for mine. So I was just able to go in, and it makes it real simple to just basically take all these different sections, right? And just basically all these are different little sections. And then you add your different pages. So you can have like what you have your YouTube and Instagram, your social stuff, social media stuff. There's a little advertisement on the shoes. This link here would actually take you to my Shopify page, which is slightly different. Now Shopify, that platform as far as the website, I think it's a little bit more difficult to use than Squarespace. Squarespace is a lot more user friendly, but I was able to make it work. You can see, guys, these are the different designs, right? So you have those. These are the original designs that the first ones ever made. And then these are called the lit confetti camo. And basically, I'm a big fan of camo, so a lot of my designs are based off of like a camouflage pattern type of situation. These are the lit space ghost. We have, this is my Steeler design, because I'm from Pittsburgh, I like the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have the Spitfires, we have some vibrant reds. This is the second version of the original with the purple right here instead of the yellow. And then you have the Yeti blue. We have, I call these sail theory because they look like little sails. And that's actually based off of a painting as well. And then these are the ones I have on. These actually would go with the SpongeBob designs, the lip balms. And there's the ice creams and the candy runs.
So when people order this, does it go straight, does the order go straight to like the China website?
Yep, so they have like some pretty cool like integration, right? So like pretty much everything comes from Yoku, is integrated into my Shopify. The same with Prodigy, right? So both of these, and that's something that's like on the back admin side. I would have to show you how it works, but it's really cool. Like you literally you publish it, you link it to your store, and it's just like all back end automation. There's even an Amazon element, but I've had so much trouble trying to figure out how to get it to work. Because I was like, man, if I could get my stuff on Amazon, that'd be pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So, still a work in progress. I haven't mastered that yet. But you guys can see that, like, you can literally take an idea and create a finished product, and you'd be surprised at what you could do. So here's just like some other designs. So like you can see, these are the different SpongeBob things, and like, see, we have some canvases, some prints, we have little bags, you know, and then we have like, here you got the hoodies, right? That's what these shoes would go with, the hoodies. Just all kind of different stuff, and it makes it really easy. Like you make stickers, you make all kind of little things here with this. So, even have my, this is my hip hop series. So we got Biggie and Busta Rhymes and Jay-Z and DMX, right? Rap characters, and then what else we have? We have the Kenny from South Park. And who else we have? Kenny and then we have Rick Sanchez. Yeah, right here. Yeah. So that's the cool thing about like Prodigy. So you take your design and it has all these different products that you can say, oh, I would like to see what my design looks like on that. And and one of these pillows I actually did order. It actually came out pretty cool. It's just like a little, you can get them like velvet, there's like canvas, velvet, felt, whatever. And then you can get different sizes.
You get copyrighted, like, if you're not like that.
So I could, right? I possibly could, because I'm using different characters, right? I do my best to change it. So it's not like a straight, I just straight took what, the guys that drew this and that whole sort of thing. And these ones, the funny thing about these two, I actually drew these. I actually hand drew these and then digitized them in and changed the colors and did all that sort of thing. Yeah, some things I hand draw and some things I can take from an actual digital image, put it in the Clip Studio Paint, and then you can modify it from there. That's kind of how I did the Luffy, that's how I did the Bart Simpson, my son. So there's there's a lot of different ways to take and change the image as much as possible, so that you don't run into copyrights. But if I ever got big and my stuff starts selling, trust me, I might have to try to get permission and a license to do it. They're like, you're trying to make money off of our crimes, right? So that's kind of right here. These are just some other designs that I've done. This is from an old movie back in the day. It's like way before you guys were probably even born. It's called Batteries Not Included. And I used to like the little robots off of there, so I wanted to do a throwback to the little robots off of that. I don't know if you guys might be too young for this too, but back in the day, when the Nintendo came out, they had something called the Power Glove, right? It was like a glove you put on your hand and you could control the game. So that was paying homage to something like that. And that's kind of what I do. I take things that I used to like from my childhood, try to make designs out of them, and just try to bring new life into something that's old. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything at all? You guys ready to create some stuff? Now you guys have an idea, branding, right? You guys have computers at home, and I'm sure you guys are probably pretty tech savvy, so don't be afraid to do things. Any of you draw? Any of you guys draw? Oh, we got people to draw here? Okay, that's good. That's good.
I do.
Excellent. Well, good luck with that. Sometimes that could be a little nerve-wracking. I have a few things I've entered recently, and I'm just waiting to see the selection comes through. So we'll see. But it was excellent talking with you guys. If there's anything, any questions you guys have at all, and you'd be surprised, it's not like everything is there, it's just kind of messing around with stuff, That's all.
34 minutes.